It's the Picton Gazette, delivered direct to my mailbox by Canada Post.
Hi folks, it's Chris Fanning from the Picton Gazette. And yes, it's true, Canada Post is not delivering the Picton Gazette this week because they're on strike. We of course have made alternate arrangements, and you will be receiving your Picton Gazette in perhaps a slightly different way and at a slightly different time. We've got a crew of drivers attempting to get to rural mailboxes. We've got extra copies in towns, at post offices, and all around. In case you have not received your Picton Gazette directly, it is available, and you can collect it at any number of locations. The first article linked in the description below has information about how we're handling this and how you can get your Gazette in case you have not received it. Meanwhile, the news goes on. Eleanor Zitschi has a report on the Ontario Land Tribunal's approval of the Picton Heights Company's proposed Vine Ridge development after 5 years of going back and forth with the county. Questions of infrastructure and affordability are addressed there. Karen Valahora and Eleanor have a report on the limits to Quinte Conservation's ability to regulate operators like Picton Terminals. That's worth reading. And there are some letters on the letters page concerning how Council handles its own procedures in regulating and approving development. All of that's worth checking out. And of course, Jason Parks has a number of articles for us. Let's turn it over to Jason.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the social media furor over why Prince Edward County doesn't have Remembrance Day crosswalks can take leave. I've got a story about Lest We Forget crosswalks that will be coming to Picton and Wellington, as well as a special Remembrance Day display proposed for ConsiCon. Gender-based and intimate partner violence is on the rise in Prince Edward County. Holly Baines of Alternatives for Women was at Shire Hall last week to update council on the latest statistical trends and what AFW is doing in the community. A 500-foot floating public walkway that connects Picton Harbor to Port Picton is being put in place, and I have the latest on that. In sports, the PECI Junior Girls Basketball Squad made it all the way to the Central Ontario Finals in Peterborough last week, and I have a recap on the very special season for the Panthers. On the web, both the Picton Pirates and Wellington Dukes had productive weekends last weekend. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Jason. This week's issue has an arts theme to it from our cover with this great photograph by Jenny Litke of the Department of Illumination's decorations for Crystal Palace. And Karen Valahora has an editorial on funding for the arts, talking about the richness that it brings to our entire culture here and how we ought to support it. Karen also has a review of the new documentary called Atomic Reaction about Canada's role in the development of the atom bomb in World War II, something which is coming to the Regent very soon. And Tim Hadley has a report for us on a concert at Base 31 Sergeant's Mess Hall. Tim?
Thanks, Chris. This week I'm reporting on the Tom Wilson concert that took place at Base 31 in the Sergeant's Mess Hall. It was a fantastic show. Tom Wilson is a singer, songwriter, performer who's played for about 40 or 50 years now. He's written many songs with many different people and performed with many different groups, from the Rockin' Junk House to the more folkish Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, and on his own as a solo performer. It was a lovely evening. There was a full house, and everybody that was there seemed to know all the songs and had a wonderful time. And you can read all about it this week in the Picton Gazette. Thanks. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Tim. And finally, we have a book review, a review of Lynn Grist's most recent addition to her continuing series of county historical fictions for junior school readers. We had some assistance this week from our apprentice reviewer, Noel Valahora. Please enjoy that review. And finally, we're doing our best to get the Picton Gazette to you, to your mailbox, in newspaper boxes all around the county, especially around the post office, and we will do our best to make sure that you're getting a hold of it. You know something? If you've got a neighbor who doesn't have one, pick up an extra copy or two and bring it back. We'd really appreciate that. We want to keep the word out. Stay tuned to our website. We'll update that article about locations and methods of delivery as often as we need to. And until next week, thanks very much.
Oh, look! It's the Picton Gazette, delivered direct to my mailbox by Canada Post.